Your main man back again. Go outside and tell your friends. Right now, we'll be addressing some topics of interest, questions, and comments I've received in the comments of the recent videos I put out. And it's been a great time enjoying the Barbarian Horde here in cyberspace is the place, baby. So let's talk about that. People have been saying, my main man, baby, what do you think about 5th edition D&D? What do you think about 1 D&D? What do you think about the OGL rules update? Here's what I think. I think Wizards of the Coast is a trash company. I don't want to give them my money, and I'm not going to. I think that the versions of D&D that have come out since 3.5 have been vastly inferior. And I think there's a very interesting question to be raised as to when something is no longer the thing it was, right? If you have a heavy metal band and they don't have one single original member in them, are they that heavy metal band just because they own the name? And I think Dungeons and Dragons probably hit that point a long time ago. I think it's even arguable with 3.5. I think once you kind of had Gary Gygax out of there, it's very questionable. But AD&D Second Edition is so similar in so many ways, and yes, there's some differences, but it's still, in my mind, Dungeons and Dragons, and the Dungeons and Dragons game is being published at the same time. I guess the Dave Arneson game would also follow Dungeons and Dragons. 3.5 is a really major change, and they did a lot of great things, a lot of bad things in 3.5. It's certainly well worth looking at and playing. It's questionable if it is or not. I think 4th edition, in my mind, definitely not D&D. It's just trash. It's absolute trash. I don't give a damn. I'm going to tell you what I think. 4th edition is trash. And if you play 4th edition, you're trash. And your mom's trash. And your family's trash. And your dog's trash. I'm going to come down and beat your monkey ass. Believe it, because I'm coming for you. Look around. That sound of the silence at night, creeping and sleeping. That's your main man about to drop an elbow on you for your bitch ass tactics. Believe in it, baby. That's the way it is. That's the way it will be. And that's the way it's going to keep being. Just right now, give you the nothing robotic elbow, baby, and then maybe you'll start seeing things right the way it should be seen. But I'm sure nobody in the Barbarian Horde likes that trash. Now, I think 5th edition was the first time that they came back up on that. As you can see, I actually do have some 5th edition books. This was a present from my man William, and I bought the Player's Guide, the Game Master's Guide to Ravnica, or Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, and the Monster Manual. I do not have a DMG. I played in 2 campaigns of 5th edition, and very briefly, I think in a one shot or 2 online with someone, we were like testing out the OGL, or not the OGL, the open, whatever the fuck it was in the beginning. So I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone buying it. The art style isn't to my taste. I mean, technically, a lot of it is very proficient, very good art. The books are put together and assembled very well. The editing's strong for the most part. But it definitely lost some of the magic. And the magic, after all, really is what we're there for, isn't it, after all? Come on now. So, would I rather get with something like this or with something like this? Well, you can see where my RPG dollar has been spent. I bought these essentially to play in 2 campaigns. One of them sucked, and one of them was actually very good. That was the one we played in the Magic the Gathering universe of Ravnica. I thought it was a really interesting that because they had them apart for so long and they finally just cross pollinated. I think they had a book out, like an online PDF or something like that for Zendikar, I think. But I believe Ravnica was, in fact, I'm nearly positive Ravnica was the first print copy. Maybe someone will prove me wrong. And I know that they have since put out some other ones, but we played in that. I'll tell you about what I played in a second, but I got the Player's Handbook and that for the reason, and the Monster Manual. That's why I bought all 3 of those books to play it. I never, ever intended to run it. My voice is off. I'm getting over being sick. I'm probably still technically sick and was working today, so it is what it is. I'm out here making videos to entertain you, baby. But you will see this video long after, and hopefully I am well by then, if you understand. So, my feelings, 5th edition, I think it's playable. I don't think it's bad. was kind of surprised they have now that they're getting ready to launch the next version. I was surprised that they put out so few books for fifth edition. I don't know what the total is, but God, it can't be even close to what they put out in 3.5. I don't know what fourth edition had as far as books. I don't care. I know down at a local game store we're playing there. We look at the used book section sometimes because there's really nothing modern that I have any interest in buying. The only games I have any interest in are D&D, uh, Within the Ring of Fire, the old vampire stuff like pre V20, and the associated games there. Although some of them I really don't have any interest in at all. No interest in Chasing, no interest in Hunter. Um, but see, we have right behind me. You actually can't see them where that is, but right there's a whole other gimmick down here. I got Savage Worlds games and I got Call of Cthulhu, and those are other games that I either really have enjoyed playing or look forward to getting to play. Oh, Mutants and Masterminds as well. So Mutants and Masterminds, I think that's sort of that and Savage World, I guess, are the settings I would contemplate for a superheroes game, which I believe I will be probably running some point in the future. However, we're doing AD&D Planescape at the moment. I think we're somewhere between like 15 plus game sessions into that one. Characters or single class characters are all the way up to 5th level, which is pretty good. I am not that generous with experience points, so it can take a minute to get there. Anyway, as you know, I'm going to get off on a tangent at all times. Stream of consciousness, man. So I think, would I run 5th edition? No. I think that um, it's just inelegant. It is sanitized, homogenized, and bitch asserized. And I care not to consort with the bitch ass. And anyone in the barbarian horde knows I ain't no gruel eating fool. I ain't gonna do it. I'm not ever done it, and I won't start doing it now. Hell no. I can play good games. You understand? And I do, and I will, prefer that. In the games that I played. I think the first time I played, it was just a one shot. I played a human. The next time I played in Ravnica, we started playing the deal. My buddy Chris ran it. He's a communist, like a straight up communist. So I got him I got him one of those old Russian like shirts with the sickle and hammer gimmick. It was fucking phenomenal, right? And my buddy's father-in-law was like a Marine. As the shoot nearly killed his bitch ass. So that shit was fucking funny. And he liked to wear that. He and I would play two-headed giant magic in the tournaments together, and we would do very well. We'd usually, I think one time we didn't. We just about always either won, and these are pretty big tournaments, or came in second place. So we're both very good players. So in case you didn't know, I'm actually a very, very good Magic player. Though mostly I prefer Commander. Although I don't play anymore because Wizards just pissed me off. So that did surprise me, though they focus so much on miniatures, on dungeon tiles, and you can imagine how much your main man loves dungeon tiles. Jesus Christ, what a bunch of mental fucking sludgery that is. Dungeon tiles. If you have absolutely no imagination, yet must play Dungeons and Dragons, look at miniatures. I mean, they'll have like fucking $1,000 worth of miniatures, $2,000, $3,000. $3,000 and fucking 25 cents worth of miniatures. They'll have them and they'll love them and they'll come in. Oh, look at this. It's the beholder coming in. I'll smack your beholder to the ground and then you'll fall on with the back of the head. I'll tell you that. Dungeon Master Screed, Akimbo, and your bitch ass is going to go to limbo, baby. It's just going to be that easy, the easy way. And that's the way we gotta have it. Like Macho Man off the top of the fucking Game Master chair. We can't have any of that. That's just the antithesis, the death of immersion. And that's really what they wanted to do. They wanted to just strip and rip your gaming experience away from you, Wizards did, so that they could capitalize on you and monetize you and drain your bank accounts when what you really need is to exercise the brain space, to exercise the mental creativity, to exercise the capacity for imagination. That's what you needed to get inside yourself. And really, I've read some passages. The old AD&D did that so much better. Even 3.5 did that so much better. And I feel that It really wants to direct you right inside of that square. And as a game designer, writing within the Ring of Fire, available on drive-through-rpg.com, get that, and you will learn the amazing mental space, as my players will, as we are going from Planescape to within the Ring of Fire on the next session this Saturday, 4 p.m. I'm Amen. So you're going to have a experience inside your mind, right? That's what we're doing. We're trying to create this imagination, this vision, collectively, trying to make it real, trying to push it, push it, push it. Or are we sitting here and playing with fucking toys? We're playing with toys. Because if I'm just gonna get fucking King fucking Ghidorah there, fucking get his ass down there, like, yeah, because fuck your beholder. I got a 3-headed motherfucking Godzilla dragon. He's just kick the beholder right to the fucking curb where he's always belonged. So I know the Dungeons & Dragons came out of miniatures wargaming, but let's keep it there. Let's just keep that in the back, Jack. I've never had any regard or interest in BattleTech. I don't fuck around with Warhammer 40K. You don't see no videos about that. That's because I don't like that. I don't respect it. I'll slap it to the ground if you bring it around me. I've never found that to be a font of imagination or of interest or of ideas. If you do, I'd probably give you one too, baby. In my RPG space, getting up in the game shop hobby? No, hell no. And I know that certainly those things pump a lot of money out. And, well, as you can see, I'll spend a little bit of money too when it's in a place that I want to spend it. And I think that that's really something that is, it sort of caters to that collector mentality. It's a mentality that I really don't like. I think that's a bad mentality to have as a person. I think it leads to a lot of problematic areas. You know, it's feeding that fucking dopamine into your mind space, into your mental endeavors, to keep you on that fucking on that desire to keep getting. Well, I'm gonna get the Drow miniature. Oh, I can get a D3 Cobalt miniature for only $99. Oh God! And I see they actually will sell you boxes where you don't even know what miniatures are getting. Oh, look at this! I got the fucking skeleton with the dildo up its ass miniature. Well, that's what I fucking wanted. It was though, but seriously, I might not get that one. I might get a fucking other one. I might get a fucking decapitated eunuch. I don't need that in my fucking game. So, some of the ideas of this are just splendidly ridiculous, foolish beyond the mind's capacity to conceive. And they have these little tiles. They really, it's like playing with toys and like a fucking board game, right? They're just smashing it all together, and you're like, you know, paying so much for this stuff. And they're like, oh, touching tiles are double-sided. Like, don't you know how to describe something, bro? What if, I mean, do they just take it wholesale? Like, well, I guess that's what we have here, baby. I guess we have, yeah, there's no need for me to describe or think or imagine or create, because that's fucking fun, right? And then if you want to change something, well, that'd be fairly confusing to players, right? I'm looking at it, all right, there's a chest here, there's a broken chair here. All right, so I'm going to grab the chair like, I can't do that. What do you mean I can't grab it? There's a fucking chair here. You just told me this is my environment, interact with my environment, get around my environment, deal with my environment. Hell no. Hell no. And I think D&D 1, right? That's a bitch-ass name. What, you trying to steal Xbox's gimmick? That's confusing, man. It's not D&D 1. It's not D&D 6th edition either. You know, I know people that done counts. It's way, way past 6th edition. So, they could call it D&D the bitch-ass edition, the monkey-ass edition, the mark-ass edition, the trick-ass edition. Call it what you need to call it, but don't call me because I ain't coming. And I won't be there, and I won't be playing with you. I won't be like, yay, you know. And, you know, I've never been one to try to jump on the trends, the bandwagons. I've just put down what I want to put down. And didn't see a lot of other people making videos with the same type of titles, baby. You see them all. They all originate with your main man. They all stole from me, baby. I'm the Little Richard of RPG. But in seriousness, the new version of D&D, the areas it's taking it in, it seems to be heavily interjected with very left-leaning, progressivist politics, which I don't like. I don't want to see your politics in my game. Just give me the fucking game. Don't give me Tannery and Batazoo. So we had at one point, very right-wing nonsense, like fucking, what do they call it, mad about D&D. You and fuck your mom. I don't care about you or your bitch-ass tactics. Keep your shit out of my fucking game. I don't want to not get to have an assassin class. I don't want to not get to have half-orcs. I don't want to not have devils or demons because some fucking religious nuts or that's bad. No, fuck you. I don't care what you think. You ain't playing it. I am. So stay the fuck out of it. But then the same idea of the people that are jumping in here and then bringing their own ideas with that and trying to force it that way, right? Just keep it in the middle. It's for everyone. It's for fucking everyone. Role playing is for everyone. That's who should do it. If you got a brain in your head and you got an imagination, if you want to, then that's for you. So don't try to make it. Oh, this is just for me. This is my no. Fucking everyone. And that's kind of the thing in gaming where I came from in gaming. I remember going up to what was it called? The Gamers Guild. When I was 15, I initially had found this place through a friend of mine in high school. I'm in 10th grade, and I'm like, oh my God, like all this, because I wanted to role play. I had some books, I had some knowledge, I had played the Commodore 64 games, and I'm like, oh, this is really where I want to be. And there, were some jacklegs up there running games, and most of them, honestly, weren't quite that good. It's not like your main man found a mentor there. Your main man had to learn on his own, learn from the mistakes of others, and the few mistakes I made as well. So, but I always found that to be an area of extreme inclusion, but then to try to put an inclusive aspect to a game that is not inclusive. Because inclusive is everybody, right? Being an egalitarian is for everyone, not preferential. And at my core, I'm an egalitarian. I'm not for anyone being pushed up here or there or whatever. I don't care. To be in my game, I'm going to evaluate you by one thing: how you can fucking role play. And if I don't think you're going to steal from us, or the other players aren't going to fucking kill you because you're a complete fucking piece of shit, right? But beyond just basic things, you don't like stink or something of that nature, right? Anybody's fine. Anybody's fair game. I got people in my group that fucking think wild, crazy ass things. Very different things from me, right? But I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what people can do there, right? And I think that there is such a strong push. And again, like, I'm definitely not Mr. Right Wing here. I'm an atheist. I'm somebody that believes that whoever wants to be there, as long as they can do it, right? They can role play, they can get it in, they can be there. But what I see is a lot of force and forced out, and a lot of forcing of agendas in there that quite frankly don't need to be in there, right? Because that's not. It's not. It's not really what I'm into. Seeing people carefully and manipulatively insinuate their sort of ideas in these areas, which no, I don't like it. I don't think that, and a lot of these articles that come out, and a lot of these people writing along these things have a lot of real disrespectful things towards the creation of the games, and I think, over the time, that those might be some things that I get into. So, but the OGL, I don't really care, honestly. I got that question. Who asked me that question? Let's pop over here and have a look here. And I don't know, I think I've already closed it out. Anyway, as far as the OGL for the changes, and I guess as they'll be affecting 5th edition, 6th edition, I don't care. I'm not going to buy a 5th edition book made by D&D, and I'm certainly not going to buy one made by somebody else. As you can see behind me, you can see a lot of great 3rd and 3.5 OGL books. AEG, Mongoose. I mean, this is Mongoose here. In fact, almost this whole run up to here is OGL books. Some of these were gifts. Green Ronin. I like OGL stuff. I think there were some fantastic ideas that came out of it. A lot of horrible ideas, but some fantastic ideas as well. So I think that that's something that probably overall will be very negative, very hurtful to the hobby, because you're going to keep these other ideas from coming out, right? And it's a weird thing, right? From Wizard's standpoint, I completely understand from a company like why you wouldn't want to do that, right? That doesn't. It's. I'm not on the kind of income where I just buy what the fuck I want, right? I'm a grown man. I got a real job. But let's say that I was 16 Because I was 16 buying books, and I couldn't just buy a big stack of them. I just come in, oh, here's 9 new books. Oh, next week, here's 9 new books, whatever, right? It was like, do I get Monster? Do I get the fucking Player's Handbook to fucking Gnomes? Or what do I get? Of course, I don't get Player's Handbooks to Gnomes. You fucking should know better. That was a trick question, motherfuckers. That was to see if you were paying attention. So I think that the OGL was a very strange. It was very strange to me. I thought it was an excellent idea. I thought it created excellent content, and maybe it made more buzz. Maybe they were worried that something else would take their content. I think the creation of Pathfinder was a major mistake um, for D&D. They basically allowed someone else to create a competitor that pretty thoroughly, I don't want to say kicked its ass, but really competed hard against fourth edition because it was such a poorly put together game. And Pathfinder was like a superheroes version of 3.5. I do not like Pathfinder at all. I played Pathfinder. I don't like Pathfinder. Um, Actually, the same game master ran a Pathfinder game that I played in that ran the Ravnica game that I played in. I played an ogre, by the way, because we didn't have any idea what races they were going to come up with, or whatever. So she was talking to people. I was like, well, I'm going to play an ogre. Like, yeah, okay, no problem. And we basically just had to shoehorn it together, put it together. So I played an ogre druid of the Golgari. Um, Gosh, it was long since I played Magic now. What it? They had tribe, house, guild. I should know that because it fucking says guild there. Anyway, like I said, I'm sick, so that's gonna be my excuse. And if anything, there's incoherent ramblings in this, that's also my excuse because I don't just incoherently ramble in all of my other videos. Um, so they are they're the care. So what my concept was for my character, basically, he was a guy, and he's just a fucking 9 foot tall ogre, and he's like in a fucking rotten looking cloak with a big quarter staff, and he's coming down, being pulled by some mules with this big cart, and he just picks up the bodies, and he takes the bodies to the rot farms, so that the rot farms can be nourished. The rot farms can grow from the decomposition of the corpses, so we can get the mold in there. We're getting the bacteria in there, baby. We're getting the fungi in there, if you will. So that it was fun. It was a very fun character. Of course, he played up beyond that, and he made us like love interest. I had this like Gorgon love interest, not the bull like the Medusa, but we don't call them Medusa because they're Gorgons. And it was a good game. Like he's not a stalwart veteran game master, but he did a real good job. A lot of interest, and he knew the Magic World real well, which helped. I ended up getting a special mount, which is a tiger beetle. So I had this tiger beetle that could fly. It's like, I don't know if you know what a tiger beetle is. They're like green metallic beetles, and they are fast. They're carnivorous as well. And he was just, it was a giant one, so he was big enough for a full-fledged 9 foot tall ogre to ride around on. That was interesting, and I always loved playing like against class type. Like, oh, ogre's a barbarian. No, I'm a druid actually. I do have a high strength, and I can fight, but I actually had to fight with his quarterstaff, and I don't have all the benefits of fighting. So, that was pretty nice. I looked at some of the other things they're doing, and I concocted some because I didn't have any rules for playing ogres as player characters at that point. The other game I played in was trash. And we played for a while. I played a Yuan-Ti warlock, a female character, and she was fun to play. The game master he just didn't have it, and it's very weird, right? He ran almost like a module like I guess he'd written things that had to be like right here, right? It's like if you were running a module, maybe you're kind of boxed in, right? I mean, I wouldn't be. I'd change things around, but he didn't have that. He was just boxed in. It was like our characters made no difference. It could have been anything. I could have been like a human fighter, and it wouldn't have made any bit of difference. I'm not going to go into that character too much, but it was a lot of fun to play. It was just smashing my head into the wall because it was like nothing mattered. And the guy had like another guy playing the game that was like his good buddy, and it was that game master's friend. And I was like, man, that guy sucked. He was a bitch ass player, man. That dude and his potions, I'd throw him on the ground. Um, so it did mess things up. The guy who was running the Ravnik game was playing that one too, and he actually did a pretty good job as a character. His character I liked. I think he was a half orc wizard. So yeah, I think he was a half orc wizard. Yeah, I know he was a wizard. I think he was a half orc. He did this astronomy gimmick. The backgrounds in 5e they're kind of interesting, but I feel they might get a bit stale. I suppose they're fairly similar to kits, though, in a way. All honesty, really, I think when it comes down to it, if you just write that stuff out, get yourself a secondary skill, and get to work, use different weapons. That's really one of the big things for fighters, dude. If you're using a long sword, you can't use a long sword because you use a battle axe, or you use a pole arm, or you use you be a bow and arrow fighter where you're a long sword fighter. Or use a short sword, or use a bastard sword, two-handed sword, or a club. How about fighter with a mace? You don't have to be a cleric. Get some funk on it. Make it different. Give a different presentation. Make your character different, and like a human, or even worse, an elf with a long sword and a shield. A lot of people play that guy with the composite longbow. A lot of people play that, right? So that was stank. Put some originality. Grab that heavy crossbow. Yes, no one uses this D4 plus 1 damage guy, but I will. That's right. The goblin's still running at me. I don't give a fuck. He has 3 hit points. Um, so I think that sort of sums up my feelings in a roundabout, ranty way. I don't like slant. It was one of something I see particularly like in modern. A lot of modern games are such a heavy slant, and it really, really, really turns a lot of people off. Just draw it down the middle. Just present it. Don't put all your foolishness into it. Just put it out there, and let it be the way it should be. It doesn't have to be about. We're not playing Mage Ascension, man. It's not a paradigm war. Just we're trying to have fun. And that means everyone gets to have fun, not just some people, not just the elect or the elite. Everybody gets to have fun. Those guys go to work a hard job and provide for themselves, their families, their kids. You know, I see people my age. I'm 45. I don't see them buying this product at all. I don't, and I'm not going to, and I don't think anyone in my group is going to. I might be wrong. Maybe somebody will, but we range in age from my age down to my son who's 15, and we have one player in his 20s, the Bird Donk. And maybe I'll do a video and show you guys a group, have them go around and kind of talk about their character, not necessarily like in a way they don't want the other players to know about, but just kind of describe and maybe say a few things, give you some kind of idea before a game. And it might be kind of interesting so you see the game I have with the seven players, Jesus Christ. But they're great players. It's a great time. We have a fantastic time. Great group. We have a bunch of games. We have my game, and then there's 3 other games running. We have 2 vampire games. We flip-flop every Friday night on vampire. And then we change between Saturday and Sunday. I am running and have been running for a while, and I ran another game right before that. Now, we have another guy running a D&D game. He's running Keep of the Borderlands. We're almost finished with that module. It's his first time running, doing an excellent job. We'll go for his first time running a game. And then after he's finished with that, we're going to start a 3.0 or 3.5 series of Dragonlance modules. It's apparently like a long series. And the way we play it'll probably take us 5 years. We do material extraordinarily slowly. My players are always, I cannot believe how long it takes them to do almost anything. I'm like, all right, here's 85 things to do. Oh, you've done part of number 1. I thought you'd get to 7 tonight, but they never fail to do less than I expect, which is fantastic because they're role playing. They're looking at things. They're examining things. They often end up stumble fucking into things that cause them, because none of us play optimally. We don't use standard or procedure. We don't do things like that. We are inside the mind of our characters, and that's really bringing it back, I guess, full circle to what I really fucking hate about the new editions. It's not about being in here, it's about being out here. And that's something that I've screamed and ranted about over and over and over again until I've lost my voice. Play in here, man. Trust me. Just fucking trust me. All right, I actually and shit a lot, but this is something I know about. And you as a game master, you as players are going to enjoy it more. It's not my fun is better than your fun. Because people get into this mindset, get into this confusion. What it's about is trying to tell you how to maybe step up that ladder of fun. Because you've had fun, right? In a lot of different ways in your life. And this thing was fun, right? But this thing was a lot fucking more fun, right? And that's what it's about, trying to capitalize, particularly, as you get to be an old fucking geezer. Um, you want to have fun in that small amounts of time. You're not out there fucking being a slave to the man and dealing with all that kind of bullshit, bitch ass customers pissing you off and having to be okay, or whatever you're doing, right? Your boss, maybe he's bitch ass. You want to put him in the corner, throw some Ric Flair chops, and put a Steve Austin on him. You can't just stone cold your boss. I mean, you could, but that would be hilarious. And send me some videos if you do, for real. So, for me, with role playing, it's about this. How do we optimize your fun? How do we optimize your fun? And of course, you can pick up Within the Ring of Fire Drive Through RPG Comp right now, and you can learn the secrets your main man knows, the secrets of the RPG pyramids of the brain cells, and invest those inside your eyes. Read the most illustrious role-playing game section ever devised to teach you step by step basics from someone who's never learned it. Show it to your mama. Let her learn how to play, baby. Show it to your dog. Show it to a 5-year-old. They all gonna learn and be better than people running out and playing D&D 1, because that's just gonna be whack as fuck, and I know it, and you know it too. And fuck you, Wizards of the Coast. You can choke on some balls.